Hi, I am a 3D animated character. Well, I don't know if I'm 3D, but I know that I am animated, and hidden behind the actual voice that I'm putting out there is a web camera and an average everyday guy. Thanks for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to show y'all folks how to get this effect on your PC and on your computer. If you've never done it before, you definitely are in for a great show. So let's get started. Before we get too much into the actual tutorial, I just want to talk about the full ranging capabilities of this actual tool. Some people may not realize that you can remove the background and you can change your backgrounds for your actual animated character. I'm using what is known as FaceRig. FaceRig is a really awesome tool that allows you to implement your web camera and your PC and track your face. So it's tracking my face currently at this very moment. Now what I find amazing about this is that besides moving my head, I can open my eyes, I can close my eyes, I can move my eyes to the right, I can move my eyes to the left, and it follows my actual pupils, which is pretty amazing. You can even scale all the way up to the eyeball and just roll your eyes if you want to roll it. Really crazy, right? Now let's talk about the motion of the character, making it seem like he's walking or rotating. You can do that kind of stuff using FaceRig as well. And that, I think, is something that people tend not to utilize. And so there's so much that you can do, even though that you may not have the ability to move the arms because maybe you're lacking the Intel RealSense technology web camera. RealSense technology camera would actually allow you to do all this types of stuff if the actual character, the avatar, is equipped and rigged to do it. So you would have to actually find out from the FaceRig documentation, or also they have what is known as the DLC packs. They have these DLC packs. So here we are on Steam. This is the actual FaceRig support for Intel RealSense, and this is something that I definitely want to get into. I haven't got the RealSense, the Intel RealSense camera yet. It's a special web camera that you should make a purchase of if you want to use the DLC functions and the ability to move the camera using this particular option. You can not move the camera, but you have two different web cameras. So you have the RealSense on one side, you have your regular web camera on the other side, and the RealSense senses your hand movement and gestures and is able to move the actual avatar's hands and certain body parts that you can move around, which is pretty cool. So if you wanted to get that, I'm gonna give you a link to get to all these locations to check it out, but it's a free download. Make sure you have FaceRig Pro. I believe you should have FaceRig Pro because it's DLC enabled, so that way it says FaceRig support for Intel RealSense DLC only. Works if you have the Intel RealSense camera. In order to get DLC, you have to basically purchase the FaceRig Pro, I believe. So that's how I think that it works. So there you go. So I'm gonna start to build the process for y'all folks, where you may not know how to stream live or may not know how to record your videos using this type of software. I'm gonna try to help y'all folks to learn how to do it. Let's move on. I just wanted to give y'all a build-up of like the knowledge base just by talking about it without actually showing you, physically showing you. So if you learn just by hearing, you can start to build up the knowledge and understand it. It's not really that hard, but it's just having that software. Once you get the software, you have to know where to go to activate these differing functions on the screen. And most of this stuff is on screen mouse drag and droppable functions or menus that pop up on the screen. So I'm going to show y'all folks right now just to get started with the background removal and changing backgrounds to customize, like this red background and other unique things that you can actually do. Okay, so here we are on FaceRig itself. This is the FaceRig Pro version. The difference between FaceRig Pro and the regular customer FaceRig version is basically pricing, and also what you can do when it comes to earning ad revenue if you chose to monetize your videos. Talking about the ad revenue and monetizing, dealing with FaceRig, you cannot monetize every single character, so you would have to try to read the information that comes along with the character. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit the X and show you where you would pretty much be starting off. Let's go to avatars and change the avatar. So when you first start out, you can see what you would be at when you start out. So you're going to be starting out around with this particular character, and your environment would probably be like defaulted to something like this or something like that. So when you first start and you won't have the advanced UI, you pretty much are going to be staring at this screen trying to figure out what to do. So basically what you need to do, like I said, you should have a webcam tied in. Once you get that webcam tied in to your computer, if it's like a laptop, it should automatically have a webcam on the top of it. So that should work out if you are a laptop owner. If you are maybe a desktop owner, Windows PC, it only works on Windows, by the way, folks. So if you have, you know, a Mac computer or whatever, I apologize, but FaceRig did not create that yet. They have it in the works. Hopefully they're going to get it out for Mac users. So basically, once you get your setup done, now you can move on and you can start working on the learning process behind FaceRig, which is basically understanding these on-screen options that you have. Each of them do something a little different. The first one accesses your avatars. So you click it and it opens up all of your avatar options to play with. From top to bottom, left to right, just look at every little thing. Like this particular character, the name of the character would be up here to the left. It's Fluffo. It says a spiffy and adorable red panda. He's the FaceRig mascot and very proud of it. Fluffo has his own apartment and his favorite background. So he has his own apartment and his favorite background. Let me X this out. Sorry about that. So let's put this animated retargeted. I'm not sure exactly what that does, but it should animate and retarget the way that Fluffo is communicating using the mouth gestures and eyes and head. I don't know exactly, but it says, did you know that the commander hunter once killed a man just by looking at him? This stuff is really cool. They throw these little quotes and stuff like that sometimes, and little tips that will come in the bottom slider. You'll see that little slider come through. It's almost like a lower thirds. I don't know if y'all folks know what a lower thirds is in terms of video, but that's generally like some informational type of annotation slide that comes out. And when you're editing a video, if somebody sees a video like CNN or CBS or whatever, they put that little news information in a box and it comes out. It could be like maybe your brand, your marketing a brand or something like that. It will come out at the bottom left on the side of the screen, or the bottom right, or maybe somewhere else on the screen. It depends on whoever created that actual video and that YouTube channel branding or whatever. It will slide out. So yeah, let's move on. Avatars. Let's go back to avatars, and down at the bottom here you see all this little small little icons. They call these thumbnails. Talking about thumbnails on YouTube, you're going to need to work on your thumbnails. A lot of people don't realize that, but those are video thumbnails on YouTube. Look just like this, kind of with text on it that people always seem to come up with, and some people are really good at it, some people are not. So say you clicked any of these little thumbnails. When you click them, it changes the character somewhat. So he changed his clothes, he changed his fur. You can do that kind of stuff. Look at that one, that's pretty neat. Looks really weird and odd, but yeah, he has many different, I guess, skin to wear. So you can play around and choose whatever type you want, and depends on how you want it to look. Now you can also pick other avatars. Like I was using let's go to this one. I don't know. You wanted to use this avatar. This is a snowman. You can use a snowman avatar. And the webcam, like I said, is going to map out your face, your head. Right now I'm swinging my head side to side. If y'all folks wanted to see me, I can do toggle and you can see me swinging my head side to side here. And you can also throw it behind you. You can throw the character behind you and remove the background using this toggle picture in picture mode. Let's go back to avatars, and I'll bring back the avatar that I had, which is this guy. This is the seal of wisdom. So this is a seal actually. So what we're gonna do, hit the X. So when you want to get out of the avatars, you have an upper right corner X here. You click that and it goes away. So you got to get used to that, things sliding out and sliding in. And then what else do you want to do? Alright, so we got those avatars gallery thing out the way. You can also click up here and it will go away. Now let's move on to environments. Environments are really neat. You switch environment and that will switch the scene to something different pretty much. So people can look at another environment wherever you want your character to be. That I think is really unique about FaceRig. It gives you the ability to change environments very fast, and it's fluid. It's pretty fluid. Okay, so now that we're in a hard environment, the love factor and all that good stuff, right? Let's talk about moving on a little bit more into the next section here. It says auto calibrate tracking. Auto calibrate tracking is basically your ability to get your camera to synchronize the positioning of the actual avatar. So you tap it and then it says maintain a neutral expression and hit calibrate when ready. Make sure you just keep a regular neutral expression, no smile, no eye movement, nothing. And try to get your head leveled with the camera where your eyes is directly leveled with the actual camera, and head center, shoulder straight, etc. And then you click calibrate. You might have to do it again because now he's tilted to the side. And there you go. So once you're done with that, now you're leveled. So when you turn your head to the right, to the left, put your head down, up, it's going to move based exactly on your lined up positioning. That way, if you're moving a little bit over here, it doesn't slump so far like that, you know, or it doesn't stay like this while you're talking, hanging to the side. So let's go with the next one, which is toggle audio based lip sync. So that's this lip icon here. You click it and it basically shuts it off. So look, my mouth is not really moving in sync with, you see his mouth? You can't really see the lips moving that well. So you click it and then you're able to move a lot better. It should sync the lips pretty much in line with what you're saying. So that's what that one is. Now this one is a screenshot, so you go take a nice pose and capture a screenshot, and that's going to go to a document. It shows at the bottom here where the file went. So if you can pretty much capture it by looking at it, you should be able to go and get to that particular file folder. So the very next one after that to the right is record a performance and then export in or export it as a video. That one I don't use that too much because I love to use the OBS Open Broadcaster Software Studio. So that one I'm not going to really talk about too much, but if you wanted to create a video in actual FaceRig, you can do that. I highly recommend for you to get legal music if you're choosing to use music in the background applying to your video, even if you're gonna not monetize it. If you choose to monetize that video, most definitely get legal music that you can use. If you don't use legal music that you either paid for as a royalty-free type of music that you can pay for, then 9 times out of 10 you're gonna end up with some sort of an issue. which tends to happen dealing with copyright and stuff like that. But I have a copyright series coming in the future to talk about that for those who need to understand, who don't understand what copyright is all about on YouTube. Here it says add text and image overlay editor. So you click that and this gets into text overlay. So you can add text. So let's try to add some text. Type here. Oh, so basically it hovers. So let me click the X. This is it here. You can move it. Double click it and then you can type in there. We're gonna call this FaceRig tutorials, something like that, and then you can play around with it, give it a drop shadow, VH, this is horizontal shadow, vertical shadow, it drops under it, and then we can put a color for the text. Look at that, you can play around with it. Pink is not the best color for text, but maybe it could work here, I don't know. And then you want to change the size, you go here to PX and you can change the font type to any font type that's available. Not many font types are available, so keep that in mind. Somewhat limited in terms of that, and these are just like basic text editing features for, like, if you're writing, you want bold, you want italics, you want a line, underline, a strike through, and this is a overhang type of thing, like put a line on the top, so overline. And then center, left adjust, right adjust, etc. So if you wanted to do that, you can do that with the text editor. I'm not going to use it right now. Let's clear all and then hit the X. You can also add an image if you chose to overlay an image. Alright, so that's done. If you want to reset all the configurations, you can click reset. Let's go to UI, switch to advanced UI. You click that, and now we're moving a little bit more into the other portions of FaceRig, which is other advanced controls. So say I wanted to switch the environment again. Now maybe I want to do a customized background. I can play with all these different options. This is the green screen option, which I'll talk about. I did a video for it before, but let's go into this one. I did the video recently, about a week ago. This is the custom background. So you can really get into specialized customization if you wanted to get into changing the background. So you can go into customization here, you click this tab here, and then you can start to change the color schemes, which are pretty cool. So you tap any of this area over here. If you want white, it's not going to be white, it's going to be off, like maybe like a little gray, light gray, and then as you can see, it's going to dim out as you go along. Now you might be able to change that a little bit more by using the multiplier here to make it white. See that? So this is a background color tinting multiplier. So say I wanted it to be white, now we're going to go and try to change it now, and it should change to the exact color that you chose to go to. So there you go, and then you can use this color scheme here to adjust while you're referencing one particular point on the palette here, and you can scroll through and then move it around and try to get exactly what you want. So this was the red one that I had. Let's see, make it a little bit darker so it's not that hard on your eyes. So this is the one that I played with starting out, and that will move me on to how do you navigate your actual avatar. Navigating deals with the alternate key and using your mouse. So you tap and hold the alternate key. You use your mouse wheel to scroll. You scroll your mouse wheel up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it basically downsized the character. Now you tap the left mouse button while you're holding the alternate key, and you can drag to rotate. This is rotating towards the, I believe this is rotating the mouse towards the right, which makes them turn left, face left, I think. and then this is facing right. So left face, right face, and then scrolling up, that's moving the actual mouse up while you're dragging up, and this is dragging back, pulling it back, pulling it up, pulling it back. Look at that. Funny, right? Like he's swinging. It's hard to recenter it. Then you can hold the alternate key again and depress the mouse button, and then it will drag it and drop it where you want to place it. So you have pretty much full rotation control. You can't do 360 rotation. That would be pretty awesome, right? But pretty much that's where it is with that. And you can also reset it by going to avatar here and just clicking the avatar again, the same exact avatar or a new avatar, and it basically resets the position. So that's pretty cool, right? Alright, so let's move on. We got environments, we got the customized background. Let's talk about removing the background. Let's go to environments and use the green screen. We could have used the customized background and set it at green, but why do that when you already have a preset? So you go to the green screen and you tap it, and that presets you into an arena of a full background of green, high pitched green, pretty high tint, right? So now if you want to remove this particular background, it's really easy to do. And how do you do that? Well, you have to be on OBS. So let's minimize. This is the Open Broadcaster Software Studio, the actual website. So if you wanted to actually do what I'm doing here, to be able to manipulate the character and not have any flaws or errors in it with having, you know, this particular type of interface or whatever, or anything up here on the top dealing with the FaceRig and all this stuff, maybe logos or anything like that, you would definitely need OBS. And if you wanted to stream it live to your audience wherever you're at, you need OBS or any other equivalent live streaming tool that allows you to, you know, remove the background and do different things. So let's go back to OBS, but this time we're going to go to the actual tool. Okay guys, now, or guys and gals I should say, okay guys and gals, now we're at the OBS tool. What I'm currently doing, I have multiple sources here. As you can see, that was the display capture. Display capture pretty much allows you to capture your laptop or desktop PC, the inner workings of what you're doing on your laptop or desktop. So when you click it, it's going to show what's on the screen. So currently OBS is on the screen, so that's why it's doing what is known as a mirror effect. So it's mirroring multiple times in an infinite series. But other than that, let's turn it off. You can click this little eye right here, eye icon, and that turns off any of your sources. So when you pretty much are having something running, you can bring up anything you want, or you can shut it off. Currently I'm on FaceRig, so I have this as a video source. It's a actual defaulted video source. I have another tutorial if y'all folks want to get to it to learn how to remove backgrounds. That's an OBS Software Studio, Open Broadcaster Software Studio tutorial. If y'all folks want to check that out, you can look up in the upper right or left and you'll see a little tiny eye, or at the tail end of the video you'll get to that and you'll learn how to remove backgrounds. But you also can continue watching this. That one is not for FaceRig per se. That one is just for maybe your regular webcam that you wanted to remove the background from. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna show y'all folks off of a blank palette, maybe like this, with nothing going on here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna erase this, remove, just like if you started from scratch, and then remove this one too. Alright, so over here you have your scenes. Don't think about all this stuff too much. It's just a section where you can switch from one scene to the next scene to the next scene. You have to build these in obviously by adding, and you have these little plus buttons. These plus buttons allow you to add. So we're going to go to sources. Sources is basically where you're going to add from within your actual PC. So maybe you have a microphone, you have image file, or you have a video capture device, which is a webcam, or maybe you have a video file that you want to merge into your scenes. And you have to think about this black box here as a palette, like a painter's palette. So you're the creator, you have your tools on you, and these are your tools here to start to paint. So how do you paint? You hit the plus button or plus option down here, and then that allows you to add. You also can right click and add, and that brings your sources in a lot easier. So say you wanted to bring in an image, you can bring in an image, and that will come from your desktop files. Now this portion here that comes up, this black box, this is basically a way to input the data for that particular file. So you want to call it something. If you wanted to, you would name it. If you don't care about calling it anything, don't name it and just leave it defaulted to what it's showing, which it says image. So say you wanted to do that, you click OK. Or you can add an existing one, but if you don't have any and you just started, obviously you're not going to have anything existing. So we're going to click OK, leave this make source visible, you leave that there, check marked, click OK, and then this new option comes up that says properties for image. You basically, what you would have to do is hit this browse, click the browse, and that goes into your desktop files, and you would have to find an image file because it's set up for an image file since you chose an image source. So maybe I wanted to add an image of, I don't know, Easter's coming. Let me grab these eggs. So say I wanted to add an image of eggs, I can add that by clicking OK. Once you're done, you pretty much will add it. Here it says unload image when not showing. I don't want to do that, but if you wanted to check that, you can play with it. So let's click OK, and that will add the image of the eggs. Now keep in mind, as soon as you add it, it's going to be defaulted to a specific setting. Now you can adjust these settings if you want. Don't click anything yet, just look at everything that you see. So what you should see is a red dot in the upper right corner, in the top center, in the upper left and right corners, I should say, and in the middle you should see little red dots as well as a line or lines forming a rectangle. So when you do that, or when you notice that, I should say, what you should do is try to hover over any of them and use your mouse and click it. Hold your mouse, your left mouse button, and then drag. And that will allow you to drag it and maneuver it. So say you chose not to do that and you wanted to do something different. Well, you can go within the actual perimeter of this rectangle and you can right click the screen anywhere. When you right click it, it allows you to take that particular object, which is known as a source, your image source, and you can manipulate it how you chose to manipulate it. So say you wanted to move it in a particular position, you're not going to be able to move it unless there's other sources listed there. So before you add multiple sources, your first source you can't move. It's obviously going to be in one position by itself. Now moving pertains to overlay or underlay. So if you want to overlay that actual source on top of something or below something, that's basically where the move comes into effect. So you can move up, you can move down, you can move to the top, you can move to the bottom. Let's go to transform. Transform is really the most important part here in terms of a particular source, unless you have a webcam. When you have a webcam, you can go into filters and then play around with the filters to really manipulate maybe the Chroma Key effect, and that's something that I'll talk about with helping you remove the background for that particular the FaceRig thing here, this little character. Let's say I wanted to transform this and fit it to the screen so that it's not going out of the screen like you see. So let's click fit to screen. So you hover over transform, the option comes up here, you're going to click fit to screen. So now it fits into the screen instead of being out of the screen. But maybe you wanted this black area here on the right and left to disappear. So you're going to grab the center red dot and drag it this way, and then grab the other one and drag it. Alright, so say that didn't work. Let's center it again, and we're going to grab the corners. So by grabbing the corners, it allows you to move the actual size of the photo. It actually allows you to resize the photo, so you scaled it. So now you can manipulate as you see fit. But keep in mind, these parameters here, let's click off of it. When you click off of it, those lines disappear. So these parameters here, top, left, and right of this rectangle, this actual size, is the size of your video. So that's going to become your video. When you chose to click record or you chose to click start streaming. I'll talk more in the future about start streaming, because streaming is something that you would have to preset on YouTube. But say you wanted to start a video, you wanted to record a video, you're going to click start recording, and it will actually start to record your session. Okay, so let's move the character in. We have one setup here, image, and we have the plus option. Before that, I'll go in and I'll change the character without you folks seeing the change that I'm going to add, so that way it can be something as a surprise. So say I wanted to add, now I'm going to click the plus and I'm going to bring in the video capture device, and I'm not sure exactly which one it is. I think it's this one. There it goes. So if that didn't come to you as a surprise, well, it was meant to be. So let's see, we're going to drag this down a little bit. Hold on. Alright, so now we're going to go back in and move the character. So now you're seeing the character in place, and I'm actually playing the character, so I'm this 3D character. Now to manipulate it further, I can start moving the character and interacting like this and talking and gesturing, and hopefully it's something that is entertaining to you. You see, so you can pretend like you're the actual character and you're playing into this scene, and I think that's really interesting to do, especially when it comes to the holidays. That's something that FaceRig really does cater to. It tries to bring out the best for those who are trying to create things for the holidays. So say I wanted to add more, how would you say, play on this particular scene. So say I wanted to start another scene, I'm going to duplicate this stuff. So let's go hit the plus, click OK. We're going to add it to scene 4. Remember I said you can add multiple scenes? Well, what we're going to do, we're going to add another scene and just duplicate that scene that we just created. So we're going to go to image, sorry about that folks, and hit add existing, and then add the previous image. So now we're going to have it set where this seems larger than what it was in the previous scene, right? And then we're going to go and add the video capture source, which is the first one, video capture device, and then we're going to scale this guy out like so. Now that you have this type of scene and you have this type of scene, the transition is what creates the effect. So you're going from one scene to the next scene, and that's creating an effect for people to actually see that you're changing view. So the view is actually changing. I can also go back to FaceRig and I can increase the size or change the position. And when you do that, that plays on the person's viewership. So they're viewing it at a different position, and that plays on the mind a little bit to give the mind a little break from that locked in position, which was Let's see. Now, why did that scale? That shouldn't have scaled. Okay. So this might not work that great in terms of scalability if I change it on FaceRig per se, 100%, but you know what I mean. You would have to plan out your scenes really well in order for all that to work well. So let's see where it goes there, where it goes here. It's about the same scale. So we're gonna have to scale this one out more, like that. You know, and then you can build in character timing in frames, right? So like you're building in clips and you're adding multiple characters into one scene. You may have to have other people act out that particular character's voice. If you can have multiple voices playing different character positions in your actual story or your setup of your video project, you can really create something unique. And I think with a team you can do really much better than as a single person. But that's just an idea for y'all folks in terms of using the background removal option that they have on OBS and using FaceRig tied in together. Okay, so if you watched this video all the way towards the tail end, now you're going to get that part about the background removal. Sorry I kind of went off into a tangent, but I wanted to build up to this point because, you know, it's really important to know these things, and I'm trying to get people to at least give it a try. What I just did, I went into the Chroma Key Filter. So how do you do that? You go it only works with the actual webcam, unfortunately. It doesn't work on image, I don't think. Let's go and try and see if I could do it with an image. Actually, it does work with images. So you can use Chroma Key effect with images as well. But I had another tool that it didn't work with the images. I believe that was Lightstream. Hopefully they could apply that using the same similar type of stuff that they use for OBS. It would work great if they did it for images. So you can remove backgrounds and images as well, or pretty much any source that you put in here. Even videos, you can put up videos. So say you wanted to create videos in all green screen, you can do that. So let's go to the actual source. Just make sure you click on the source that you want, or you double click here. Once you double click, you'll see it changes boxes and the crosshairs go, you know, across that particular source. So you can see over here, if you notice, it's switching as I double click. See? So multiple sources will do the same thing. So you have to keep double clicking in order to get through, but when you have too many, it's going to be hard. Like over here, it's really hard to tell what's what. You see, that's why they have two different options to do it. So let's go back, and we're going to right click on video capture device and then go into filter. When you go into the filter option, now you can apply the Chroma Key. In order to enter the Chroma Key, you have to double click it or single click it. So now you're seeing the background of what's really going on. So what we're going to do, we're going to click here, we're going to change this to magenta so you can see the real true background, which is what I created on FaceRig over here. I had to change the environment to get it to that green. So I'm sure you saw that part. So now you're seeing the reality of the scenario. So here with magenta, the reason why I changed it to magenta is because magenta is just basically a different color. If I put up blue, it's going to remove all the blue. See? If I put custom, it's not going to remove anything until I choose to tell it what color to remove. So you can do it that way as well. So let's go back to magenta so you can see. Now this is what it's really displaying, truly displaying. Now let's go back to FaceRig, let's hit the X, and there we go. So now this is what's truly displaying on the screen. The screen magic comes from right clicking, hit the filter option, Chroma Key. Let's remove the Chroma Key so you can see all the way from scratch. So this is what you would have started out with, and you're trying to figure out, how do I do this, how do I do that? Say you added this image first, we're going to order it and put it at the top, and then you tried to add the video capture device. When you add the video capture device, it will go up on the front. So now you want to pretty much remove this green section. So to remove the green section, right click, filters, plus. So you hit the plus option down, and then you go at the bottom, then you hit Chroma Key, and then it asks you to specify. You can call it Chroma Key 1 or 2 or whatever. You can call it Chroma Mama or BB. I don't care. Let's call it BB. Doesn't matter the name as long as you know what it is. And that will default automatically to green through the color key type of your Chroma Key section. You don't have to play with the similarity or smoothness or any of that, because that solid green will all remove itself, because it's one solid linear pixel color all across the whole entire screen. When you're using green screens, it's different, because the green screens may have particular light, you know, all across, different shades of light of green and different shades of shadow. So that's why it's so hard to remove that actual background. And so you would have to use the similarity and smoothness, which pulls out pixels that are similar color contrast that you detailed for it to remove. So that's how that works. So pretty much y'all folks seen the full scale of everything that both FaceRig and OBS has to offer in terms of removing backgrounds and actually manipulating the character, moving the character around. You can move the character around here as well using the this grab, drag and drop option on OBS if you chose to do it that way. Your viewers won't see it because it doesn't allow them to see the mouse. When you click start recording or start streaming, they won't see the mouse unless you're recording the actual desktop. When you're recording the desktop through the display capture, just click the plus, add a display capture, throw it in there. If you're doing it this way, now they're going to see the mouse movement because it's capturing what's on the actual desktop, which your mouse obviously is on the desktop. So that's how that is. So we can get rid of that by hitting this I here, and now you're seeing what's really going on the screen. If y'all folks like this video, feel free to subscribe to my channel, feel free to hit the thumbs up, and feel free to share it socially across the planet if you think that this video is going to help other people get into this particular software and try it out to express themselves in their most creative ways as possible. That's what I'm here to do. That's what FPC Virtual is here to do. We're trying to help people to understand these tools to their full capacity and be able to initiate and activate different things behind the screen so they can really encapsulate what their creativity has to offer to the online world, to people around the planet, etc. So if you feel that's what this video has done for you, feel free, like I said, to share it. You can share it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere you want. I think it will help a lot of people. And that's all I got. Mike Pugh signing off. I'll see you next time. Joy, love, and peace to all. Thanks a lot for watching my tutorials, folks. If y'all guys want to check out the next video or the OBS background removal video, I'm going to have that there. You can click the links there, or you can click that circle up there to subscribe. Peace.